In Deuteronomy chapter 23, we encounter perhaps one of the oddest commandments inside of the entire Torah. And yet, despite it being rather odd, in my personal opinion, it holds the deepest secret to overcoming the darkness inside of this world. The commandment is that when soldiers go out to war, they should bring a digging implement together with their weaponry in order to cover their excrement. Now, despite this being rather odd, like why is this so important to include inside of the Torah? I do think it contains the deepest secret to overcoming the darkness of the world that we live in. Now, in order to understand how deep this truly is, you have to realize that the entire Torah is about combining heaven and earth, creating unification, of taking the physical and giving it back to God. It's about man's effort to elevate the physical and to show the divine within it. And that includes man's own body. You see, man was created with all the elements that an animal was created. We're created from the earth just like them. And therefore, we have all the animalistic instincts that animals possess. But at the same time, we also have an additional component. Within Adam, God blew a holy soul, a piece of God himself, a breath of the divine. And every human being has a holy spark inside of them, a holy soul that can never be taken away. Now, our goal in this world is to unify these two things and to actually elevate the animalistic instincts to harness the horse in servitude for the soul. And once you understand that, you can begin to understand the incredible depths of this commandment. So let's go ahead and examine the commandment through that lens. The context of this commandment is a soldier in war. Now let's think about this. War is incredibly tragic. It is horrible, but sometimes it's necessary. Now, war affects every single person who is exposed to it, from civilians to soldiers. But there's no question that soldiers bear the brunt of the trauma. I mean, think about it. You take a soldier and you drop him down into hell on earth. You force him into dehumanizing conditions where he's facing death on a daily basis, fearing for his own safety. He might even have to harm other human beings. What do you think is going to happen to that person? That soldier is going to be full of animalistic impulses. He's going to go into survival mode, and his body is going to be flooded with chemicals that would not happen if he were not in the midst of war. And because of this, there is a risk that he is going to lose sight of his own humanity and behave in animalistic ways and give in to immorality. So the Torah tells us that there is a solution. Every time when he goes to use the bathroom, when he's forced to face the garbage that emerges from his own very animalistic body, he's going to stop and he's going to engage in a very human act. He is going to cover his excrement. You see, most animals are not concerned with covering their excrement. But human beings are not animals. And at that moment, at the lowest moment, most shameful moment of his day, we're going to remind him that he in fact is not an animal. He is a human being. He is created in the image of God and he is vested with a holy soul. And with that reminder, at the lowest moment of the day, it's going to give him the strength to go on and behave in a holy manner throughout the rest of his day. He's going to maintain the holiness of the camp. And that is going to cause God to fight on their behalf. You see, if we just know who we truly are, that we are vessels for holiness, that we contain a godly spark within us, then there is no darkness that can overcome us. But the greatest evil in the world is to tell us that we are not holy and that we are not capable. We truly are holy souls in a world of concealment, and we're supposed to be working to bring heaven down to earth and earth back up to heaven. We are precious and our actions matter. But unfortunately, this message has been lost in the world, because there's so much suffering. And people, even not soldiers, go through dehumanizing conditions. And people think that they are broken, that they are nothing more than animals, because they have tasted hell on earth, and because they have lost sight of their own humanity. And unfortunately, something even more tragic comes along and happens to these people. Along comes Christianity and affirms that worthlessness. It affirms that hopelessness. It tells people that yes, you are a dirty sinner. You cannot come close to God. You need an intermediary, somebody you can project all your guilt onto so that you don't have to deal with it because you can't deal with it. Your works, they don't matter. They're never going to be good enough for God. And it tells people that this intermediary died the death that you are deserving because you are so bad, you are so wicked, you are so broken. And because people are hardwired to believe in God and they want that relationship with God. They latch onto this because it seems like hope when they've been hopeless. And they drink the poison that is packaged as the elixir of life. It is so dark and it is so tragic. Now I'm going to say something very harsh, and my goal is not to be offensive, but I do want to drive the message home. In my view, Christianity is a repository of mental health issues, and its doctrines were formed by people who clearly suffered from extremely low self-esteem and the effects of trauma, and they felt that they were hated by God. It is the darkest of the dark, and it is the polar opposite of everything inside of the Torah. People think, of course I'm a sinner. I am dirty, I am gross, I am hopeless. I can't come near to God. For my sins, I deserve to sizzle like a French fry. And Christianity comes along and says, yep, that's true. That's 100% true. And offers them a false solution. Is there a more tragic message than that? Christianity affirms those feelings of darkness, of lowness, of the hopelessness and brokenness of man. And it causes this darkness to fester, to proliferate, and to spread around the world. Because that is the message of Esau, and God hates it. And the message of Jacob, the message of Israel, is exactly the opposite. The message is, God loves you. That is the message of Jacob. God loves you. You are created in his image. You are given a holy soul, and you are capable of behaving in holy ways. You are capable of elevating this physical world. No matter what you've done, no matter what you've been through, no matter what other people have done to you, and no matter how disgusted you feel with yourself, no matter how animalistic you feel, you are still holy, and you have holy potential inside of yourself. And we are not going to affirm your negative feelings of low self-worth, because it's not true. It is the lies, it is the darkness that has been fed into you. The Torah refuses to perpetuate the lies about the brokenness of man. It speaks the truth that man can overcome, and that you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to try. In the view of the Torah, effort is everything. The Torah is all about breaking the chains of worthlessness, of recognizing that even in our lowest state, we have holy potential. It's about refusing to give in to hopelessness and despair. It's about taking responsibility for our behavior, of breaking the cycle and rising above animalistic instincts. It's about doing the hard work of looking inside and fixing what feels broken. And when we do so, we fix the whole world, and we leave it better for the next generation. But it all starts with recognizing the potential within ourselves and our own humanity. When we recognize this, when we refuse to believe the lies of darkness, that's when light begins to shine. The dark, pessimistic message of Esau is going to one day vanish, to dissolve in the light of Jacob. And when this happens, God will be called the God of the whole world. May every human being come to see their own worth and their own potential, and the worth and the potential of other human beings, because we are all created in the image of God.